Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 talks about to not rely on our own understanding. So with that, we're not to rely on our own ways, our own knowledge, our own wisdom, on what we think the meaning of life is and the purpose of life and what we think brings joy and true meaning. What we may think brings true joy or true meaning probably isn't really the truest form. And really, you have to think to yourself, okay, there's more out there, right? There's more to just in this world, right? There's more. It's deeper than this, just this life. You know, there's a deeper meaning to it. And that's when you start to question, like, okay, why are we here on this earth, right? Why is this world created? Why these trees around me, the beauty of it, the sky, the sun shining, the way life is organized, and the way I have 10 fingers and I have two eyes and I have a mouth, like all this stuff, like why, right? And really I started questioning that, me personally, I started doing that questioning about 2 years ago. And really that I found the truth. And the truth I found was God. The reason for all of this, the things that we have, the world that we're in is God. And I was not relying on my own understanding about life. I really was relying on God's wisdom and what God has revealed to us in His Word. And the word that I'm talking about is a religious text. And you may be thinking, oh, religious text, there's so many religious texts out there. What is actually the truth? And, you know, this is why, like I said, you know, Proverbs talks about do not rely on your own understanding, but also the book of Proverbs and the Bible also talks about to seek wisdom, to seek understanding, get wisdom, get understanding, seek it with all your heart, and you will find it and you will get it. That's a promise. And when you do that, you actually find the truth, right? And just going back to me talking about the Bible, right? This man, right? This man that I'm going to bring up right now, his name is Jesus Christ. This man and there's evidence of his existence, that this man is out here teaching to the masses boldly, claiming to be God. I've never done that. I don't think you've ever done that, to tell people, oh, I'm God. And no, but this man, Jesus Christ, to say that he's God and then he dies on the cross, you know, like the sacrifice, you were like, what? This is crazy. And when you compare other religions and other religious texts, you see that there's no other book or religious text that there's a man that came to existence to do just that, and to actually have everything come true according to what the Bible says and what the writers of the text say, and that they all come into agreement. It wasn't just one man that said, oh, he did this. It was another guy, another guy, another guy, another guy. And me personally, when I really looked into it, that's when I found the true meaning of life, and when I actually started living the way God has called us to live and the way we are to live life, I found true joy, peace, kindness, all these things, these spiritual things that I never thought I would have had. And it wasn't forced too. It just was just natural. It's just like, wow, this is really cool. And the reason for this video is I've always wanted to do a podcast. And whatever the podcast Could have been, I don't know. But this dream came along when I was like 18 years old, about 6 years ago. And I just wanted to do a podcast to just help people and talk about, hey, this is how to live life and be positive or whatever, right? Cliche. But that's really surface level. Like, it's just very temporary. Like, yes, it's for to help you and to live on for life, but what is the true meaning of it? When you find the truth, the Bible talks about the truth shall set you free. And that's true. When you find the truth, when you actually obtain that, when you actually live that truth out, it sets you free from everything. Now, I'm not saying that all your problems will be solved and you're never gonna face adversity or suffering is gonna be gone forever. I'm not saying that. But within yourself, you will have the peace, joy, all this stuff, this happiness throughout all of it. All of the suffering, all the pain, all the problems, you'll have it, you'll find it through a wisdom of a divine wisdom that we could not obtain on ourselves or man, but from the creator of the universe. And what I mean by the creator of the universe is exactly what I mean. And when you really look around and, like I said, you question yourself to see, where did all this come from, right? I have 10 fingers, I have 2 eyes, I have a mouth, I have feelings of love, I have food that I can eat, I have ways that just bring me joy. Like, where does this all come from? Like, why? Like, and that there's a sun that is warming me right now. There's a balance of cold and hot and night and day. There's an order, there's a structure to life. You think to yourself that, me personally, like this just can't happen by chance. There was somebody that had to have a personality or something to do it for a reason. This couldn't just happen by coincidence, right? Like, for example, we do things for a reason. I'm doing this video just because I want to show you guys and I want to tell you guys what I'm doing. That's a purpose, that's a reason, right? You know, you could be like these shoes that we have, right? Somebody made shoes for a reason, for a purpose, so that we were not walking barefoot and our feet get ate up. There's a purpose, there's a reason behind it, right? And also too, right, you know that what you have, right, the shirt, somebody had to make the shirt. It didn't just poof, oh, magically happen, right? There was somebody that had to create that, right? So we see the same thing with the world. There was somebody that had to create the sun, create planet Earth, create the trees around me, create this rock, right? There's somebody that had to create all this stuff. This wasn't man-made, right? So that's just something that you really think about, that, there had to be something. And the mission for this podcast is to really, my mission is to target the skeptics, to answer any questions that anybody may have about God or the Bible or any religious text, and really dive deep into help others, lead them to that truth. And that's my mission for this, is to target the skepticism of the world, because there's a lot of confusion, there's so many different things, and you wonder why, and it's possible to obtain those answers and to obtain answers for the deep and challenging, tough questions that you have. There's hope. There really is. And that is my mission for this, is just to help those to find that, because I've had people help me with my spiritual journey. Now, I'm using my passion to really help those back and to put it back into whoever listens to this and other people that I may have conversations with about God or the meaning of life and the true essence of it. So I announced this podcast and the launching of this podcast, and the name of it is called the Nothing New Podcast. Nothing new. There's so many different faith-based podcasts. There's so many different podcasts in the world. There's millions of them. There's tons and millions and billions of them, right? Anything that you do, there's nothing new. It's been there. It's already happened. We're just adding on to it, and we're just advancing. That's what it is. So this isn't for anything, for any publicity or, no. I don't really care about all that. I really just want to show and help others who God is. Simply what I'm doing, nothing new about it. There's many other people that are doing this in the world too, and we all should be a part of that help and striving to help others, because that's what love is about. And I really am excited to see where this is going to go and to put forth content for you guys. And don't use me as a main resource for your spiritual journey. Don't use me as the number one source. Don't go to me like, oh, this is what Nick said, or this is what his podcast episode said. No. Seek it out for yourself. Just use me on the side, right? You can use me on the side, but don't use me as a main resource. And I will say that to other people too, right? Like, don't use anybody as a main resource, right? Use God as your main source, and others, hey, they're just helping you, right? So, because, like I said, we can rely on understanding, and it may not be correct. But if we rely on God's wisdom and His understanding of the ways of life, then we will get to that truth, and we can all come into agreement. But yes, this podcast is I have a feeling it's gonna do great, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm excited to do this for you guys. This is called the Nothing New Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Nicholas Fierro, and I just want to shout out all of my friends, all of my family, especially my mom. Shout out to you, Mama. Love you. And my sister, Julie, love you. And there's so many different people I can thank, but this video will take 20 minutes if I do that. 20 minutes added on to that. And I'm just beyond grateful for life and for this moment and just everything. And I'm grateful for you guys, and just to know, just to be in the presence of people is amazing. Just to get to know people, be open-minded with people, to talk with them and have deep conversations about, it doesn't have to be about gay, we can talk about anything. But when it comes down to it, what is really the most important thing? And that's when you ask yourself, what is it that's the most important thing? What is it that's the truth? What is it? What is it? And that's my mission for this podcast, is to put content, to put forth the absolute truth.